Once the theory of change has been elaborated in collective and iterative ways, Aisha and her team need to translate the TOC into an impact chain, as the impact chain is a key aspect of the project proposal and crucial for the development of indicators later on. However, not all projects will develop a theory of change. In some cases, the CRSA will be used directly for the elaboration of the impact chain. Sometimes also a problem and solution tree can be used as an alternative to a TOC to then come up with the impact chain. For projects that have elaborated a TOC, it may not always be feasible to implement all elements of your TOC within one single project depending on the scope and objectives of the TOC. To develop the impact chain, you can take the following steps. First, the expected change of your TOC will be transferred to the outcome level of the impact chain and will later become the project objective in the log frame. Second, you prioritize the domains of change to those that are pivotal and necessary to achieve the main prioritized changes addressed by the project. The domains of change will also be transferred to the outcome level of the impact chain and afterwards become the project sub-objectives in the log frame. It is also important to review the pathways of change of the TOC and identify which correspond to the use of outputs, and activities. For transferring the rather complex TOC to the more linear levels of the impact chain, the following guiding questions might help. Examining the pathways of change of your TOC with a view for what is under your control in your project will help you identify the activities and outputs, as you can control which activities will be carried out, for whom and what they will deliver. For example, Aisha and her team will identify that creating a community teleseries as one of the activities which thematizes the topic of violent parental techniques in a ludic manner can contribute to a high degree to the output. Adults become aware of the negative effects of violence against children in their family. By looking at what you can influence or what you are responsible for, you can identify outcomes and uses of outputs. That the outputs are used and that objectives and sub-objectives are achieved are not under your control, but you can have an influence. The following domain of change, parents create equal protective and caring relationships with their children, will become a sub-objective of the project's impact chain. Aisha and her team cannot control that this sub-objective will really happen, but they can influence that it happens. If Aisha and her team look at the TOC to determine what is their contribution, but not their direct responsibility, they can identify those areas as the impact level that go beyond what the project alone can achieve, like children in the region growing up without experiencing physical, psychological, and sexual violence. As the last step, Aisha has to transfer the impact chain into the log frame template, which is a crucial part of the project proposal and contains the indicators, means of verification and assumptions in addition to the impact chain. Once the impact chain is transferred, indicators are developed, means of verification and assumptions are identified. Here you can see an example for a log frame. Since it is difficult to visualize why and how one change leads to another within the impact chain and the log frame, the narrative part of the project proposal should explain this further. If there is an existing TOC, it is advisable to include it in the project proposal, too. Now that Aisha has followed all the steps and worked out the core elements, her project application is well on its way. Is this video helpful in planning your KNH project? You can find more detailed information in the info sheets on project planning. We welcome your feedback or questions to our quality development team.